Activate party mode.
A-firm, party mode engaged.
Welcome to Party Mode, the F1 podcast with no limits. I'm Jethro Bovingdon. I'm joined by my good friends Matthew Collins and Charlie Curtis. And amazingly, I'm in the shadow of Spa-Francorchamps, although I didn't actually go to the race, which is a bummer. But I'm at the Nürburgring. We could have had an absolute classic at Spa, but they wouldn't let them bloody race. So, boys, what's going on? Best races in the world, but they won't let them race.
That was sad.
Frustrating.
I don't get it when like the drivers are literally calling out for it. The commentators are saying this is the time. Engineers seemed happy. I understand Spa can be a dangerous place and has had some high profile crashes. But if you're going to race there, you have to accept that risk, don't you? And go for it.
And they have full wets. I mean, it's not like it's almost better that they started on full wets when it was that bad, as opposed to it just starting to dump during the race if they all had slicks on or whatever. But yeah, they knew exactly what the conditions were. Also, do you think it's because they've had deadly crashes there that they just can't have it again?
I think they're extra cautious. If it was, I'm just trying to think of it, like Kota or somewhere where there's much more runoff and not one of those super dangerous corners, I think very possibly they would have carried on. But like I say, once you induct that place into your championship, and it should always be preserved because it's an amazing place, then you shouldn't have special circumstances for it where you can't race, because we all know how great a damp, wet, drying race can be, and we only got about 30% of that, but because by the time they got going, it was just a matter of a few laps before they were going to stick on the slicks. So yeah, that was disappointing. But in other ways, in fact, I don't know, the race was not the greatest we've ever had at Spa, was it? It just felt like Oscar got the jump, done, off he goes.
Yeah, it was pretty boring, but like there was a fun little strategy thing with Lewis. He came in super early and put the slicks on, and like that was fun to watch for a little bit. And then there was a moment when it looked like Lando might be reeling him in at the end, and he had a couple laps left, and it looked like it might get really tight at the end, but it just never panned out. And so, yeah, I mean, the track is gorgeous. Again, it was fun to switch from intermediates to slicks at some point in the race. That strategy piece is always fun, but kind of lackluster.
What I didn't like is they kept shooting for most of the race. They kept watching like the 15th, 16th, and 17th race in the back. Like they showed it for like 7 laps. And why? We don't need to know this. And yet they're like the mid pack, like 9th to 12th, like where Yuki was in this battle for 10th, because I picked him for 10th. He was like running 11th for so long of the race, and they're not showing the midfield battle to get into the points. And I'm just like, what is happening? Who's choosing this battle to be seen? It was very weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, let's rewind a little bit, because it was obviously a sprint weekend.
Which we forgot about,
obviously. There was a lot going on. Ferrari were going to have their upgrade, which was going to be a big deal. Now, normally upgrades don't mean much, but this one felt like it could, because China was the last time they'd been able to run their car low, effectively, and Lewis ran away with the sprint. The car looked awesome. Most upgrades are not a magic, a silver bullet, but this one felt like it could be. As it turned out, didn't quite go that way. And actually, Oscar absolutely destroyed everyone in sprint qualifying, didn't he? I mean, literally, was he 6-7 tenths quicker than Lando? It was not looking good.
Yeah. It's also the first weekend since Horner's departure.
It was.
And, Max, he qualified second for the sprint, but he ended up winning the sprint. Which is, there's all this talk about him finishing behind George in the points after this race. Then he'd had that exit clause, blah, blah, blah. And so it just kind of solidified for me that he must have known Horner was getting the boot or had some say. And he's like, okay, I'm going to step up and perform, because he had a great weekend. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I just think I think he'll leave Red Bull next year if the car's no good. But I just don't see, when you're about to have this huge rule change, why take the risk to leave this year anyway? It would be great because it would be fun to see such a big seismic change on the grid. But logically speaking, and he's ruthless about winning. It's all he cares about. So if he waits an extra year, he can see where the smart money is and go there, because he's got his pick of the teams, isn't it? So,
and Ford could get it wrong, and Ford could also kill it. So, he doesn't want to leave, and then Ford just does it right in every single way. And he's like,
yeah, I mean, there's not that much Ford going to be in this motor because it's all being developed. Well, the engine's all being developed at Red Bull. So it's branding Ford, but they are doing some of the electric components because obviously they're pretty far down the line with that stuff in the road cars. So yeah, it's possible. Who knows? I mean, who knows? Maybe Red Bull will come out absolutely flying next season, and then he's definitely not going to leave. So yeah, Sprint was just Max, really, wasn't it? Typical, awesome,
right off the hop.
Yeah, running lower downforce, so he had the top speed, but then you'd think he would be struggling, but his car control and just how far he can push the car, it didn't even, to me, it felt so relaxed. Like you say, Charlie, like you're always relaxed when he's at the front for him. You're like, nothing's going to go wrong because it just doesn't happen.
And especially because he took him on the second turn or pretty quick on that first lap. And then, it just felt like that was it.
I do love seeing at the start of the race when you see like Oscar's car and then his car, and it's just like this.
Always cranked.
It's always cranked like it's going to go right into someone, and you just know, you're like, all right, this is going to be a fun start. And I don't notice anyone else doing it to that extreme where they're just like on an angle.
No, sometimes people will have like a little angle, but he is like 45 degrees angled right into every single time.
He's a threatening presence, isn't he? Basically, at every turn.
Probably anything. It's just screwing with your mind. You're just watching this, and you're like, he's pointing directly at me. Like this is gonna get weird, and it probably messes with their head.
But actually, the whole weekend for Red Bull. I mean, we'll get onto Yuki in the race, but even Yuki looked like he'd made a step, didn't he? Max,
I called
was flying again. Yeah, he had the little new. I don't know. Do you have a new manager bounce in American football? That's what we have in football in the UK. So that you get a new manager comes in, and the team the next week always has a little bounce and plays well. And they seem to have got a little bit of that. But yeah, I mean, but Max was talking about Horner is his bloody family before the race. Did you hear all that stuff? He'd spoken to him just before the race, and they were like a family. And so who knows what's going on with that situation?
I'd love to know more about it. I'm excited for Drive to Survive, and hopefully we get more info because I just want to know really what happened.
This will be a good test of Drive to Survive because it's like, do they dig the truth or do we get some massage message? Because this is the one issue you want to see proper behind the scenes. So yeah, it's going to be a good test when it comes out.
I'll say it now because it's in pulp, but it's pertained. Like, I don't know if you saw the Nico Rosberg interview with Jos Verstappen, and he was asking him, he's like, well, last year you were highly critical and you wanted him gone. And then he said, so how do you feel now? And he said, and Jos just kind of passed it off. And then Nico Rosberg said, so now you're quiet, and just calls him right out. And then that was kind of the end of the interview. But it's also true. It's like, dude, I don't know, have some backbone, Jos. Like, you called him out. He was sleeping with your girl. You were so pissed. And then now you're just kind of trying to like, oh, it's like, I don't like that. I'm like, when you're the dude that's like calling someone out, then when it matters, still keep some backbone.
He had to have some part in this whole thing for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Rosberg is great though, isn't he? In that he's I get the impression he might be an extremely annoying dude to be around, but as a broadcaster, because he just has zero filter, he's a former world champion, so he's like, his position within the paddock and broadcasting is for sure. Like, he doesn't have to worry about what he says, so he just says it. And I think it probably highlights that people don't say enough of what they're thinking, because he just comes in and he's just just spitting whatever he wants to say, isn't he? He's brilliant.
He's a network's dream, like to have an interviewer like him that isn't going to kind of get pushed away, and he gets to ask all those questions and no one stays pissed at him. Like they're just like, nah, that's Nico. Like anyone else, people would be like, I'm not doing an interview with him anymore. Fuck this guy. I hate him. And they're just like, no, Nico's going to do that. You have an interview with him, he's probably going to say some shit.
I admire that he doesn't seem to give a shit about anyone, does it? And he must get some stick behind the scenes, but I think he just takes it, and he's clearly, like I say, I don't know. He seems like he could be an annoying dude, but he knows his mind. Like when he won the world championship, he just retired completely out of the blue. That was his decision, never went back on it. He has his path or his question or whatever, and he just goes for it. And it's pretty good. He should work with Red Bull. He feels like Helmut Marko Mark II, minus the racism, basically. No one said that. That's actually a pretty good shout, isn't it? Nico is the new Marco, but with slightly more modern sensibility going on. So less likely to just come out with some incredibly racist or sexist comment. So it's worth thinking about, Red Bull.
I like it. Shake it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's all this talk about Vettel, isn't there? Coming in, which would be good. But yeah, how does Horner go but Marco stays? How does that work? How does this guy... We're just not privy to the information. I
think he has dirt on
on
everyone. He has dirt on everyone, for sure.
There's something else going on that we just aren't privy to, for sure.
Because he always, like, when there was that stuff with him saying racist stuff, it was all like, well, I'm not really an employee of Red Bull. They were all like making excuses for him, but yet he runs the whole thing, obviously. It's such a weird dynamic.
What could he have? What could he have? This is I don't understand. Like, because Horner's gone, Marco stayed. I guess Max loves him and they want to keep Max happy. But what? I don't get it. There's something weird going on.
But apparently Max loved Horner too.
Well, it's like family. So yeah, maybe a hated stepdad or something, maybe.
Right.
So who else should we speak about? Lewis was obviously incredibly downcast. It just things changed a bit over the weekend, but it's like, what a roller coaster being a Lewis fan, Charlie. You must be never know what's coming, good or bad.
Never know what's coming. And then he starts in the pit lane, and it's like, I mean, it was just a disaster. He turned it around, and it was, like I said, fun to watch that he was the first to come in and switched over to slicks, which was right on the edge, maybe a little early that we didn't know. So that was fun to watch. And then he flew through the pack, but yeah, just fell short. The upgrades, I was overly optimistic for the upgrades, and it seemed like nothing changed.
It just doesn't hook up a whole weekend. Like, Lewis keeps having flashes of really good stuff, but normally there's already been a mistake in qualifying or a setup problem or whatever it is, he's made a mistake.
When he had 2 lap times deleted during quali, so that, two, you can't have two.
Yeah. He was pretty close, wasn't he, to Leclerc in like hundredths, I think. But it's those little mistakes, just not working out. So at the front, like I said, so the sprint race was fairly straightforward, wasn't it? Max got ahead at the start, too good, too secure, and then it was sort of line astern all the way down, wasn't it? There wasn't a great deal happening. And then the race day, I was so excited, like weather's in the air, and this is the thing. The broadcasters, quite rightly, are excited. The commentators, the team, there's weather around. This is going to be awesome. So everyone's getting hyped up about this chaotic situation, and then they just sort of kill it stone dead by not letting them start the race, and Max is moaning. I think they really need to have a little look at these decisions, really, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cars are like almost indestructible. Like no one... Like it's kind of like the worst case scenario. Someone's going to get a broken wrist by the sounds of it. It's like it's more rare than any other time that someone's going to die in a race. So let them race.
And no one wants that to happen. The cars are going quick. It's always dangerous. But these guys, that's what they do. They've been training for this since they were kids. They all know the risks. No one wants to see like some horrendous accident. But ultimately, it's test of skill, isn't it? And that includes the weather. So it's different if they're aquaplaning off the track because there's so much water. But when it's like there's already a dry patches emerging, like you've got to get going, basically.
Also, with all that elevation change, there's nowhere for the water to really pool. Like some tracks, yeah, if there's a giant puddle in the middle of then we got to figure that out. But it looked wet, but they were just saying there's too much spray, which seemed, I don't know, never heard that before. Like that, it seemed like they were overly cautious because it was at Spa and they've had issues in the past. So
yeah, I think you're right.
A bummer.
Maybe Antonelli crashing into the back of Hadjar, or was it Hadjar crashing into the back of Antonelli at Silverstone? Maybe that the spray visibility thing played on their minds. But let's so the race. There was quite. I think Lewis was basically the highlight of the race, wasn't he? I was traveling, so I watched some of the race, missed a couple of little bits. So I just watched the highlights before we came on, and it was basically 5 minutes of Lewis Hamilton. And then it was basically the start, Oscar getting past, and then the end, and everything in between was Hamilton. So that was cool. He made a lot of moves. He got the tyres on early. He seems to be, like I say, moments of magic, but not much. Not able to string it together. But I think the bigger worry, not for him, is Antonelli at the moment. It's all starting to feel a bit scary for him, isn't it? It's not working out.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of a hard time.
He was crushing it for the first part of the season. He was always up there, finishing higher and higher every race. And then what happened?
It's a big move, isn't it? Like when you look back, obviously it's hindsight, but to put someone into a team that's that high profile, make a freaking documentary about him before he even gets. Talk about expectation. I can't think. Even Max came in Toro Rosso, the second team. Most people come in at a lower level, and George went to Williams. Leclerc started at it was Alfa Romeo at the time, wasn't it? So they've all built their way up to the big I just think putting him in straight into the only person who did it was Hamilton, who came into McLaren and was immediately with Alonso as his teammate and did brilliantly. But as we've since found out, Hamilton is, like a generational talent type character. They're talking about Antonelli in the same breath, or they were when he came in, but it does look like he's in a confidence spiral, basically.
Yeah. He doesn't look confident. He looked dialed. Of all the rookies, he was just fit right in at the beginning of the season, and now he's pulling up the rear, and he's looks a little shaken.
I think there was an interview and he was holding tissues. Ugh, poor kid.
Well, he is 18, I guess.
He is 18. I don't feel too bad for him, but
yeah, it doesn't look good for Antonelli. Yuki, signs of goodness. Matt, you must have been excited for a minute there with the P10.
Man, I was like watching him, and he was in 11th place for so long, and he could not pass. It was driving me mental. I was like, how is he not making this pass? And then all of a sudden he went down to, what was it, like 14th? Like at the very end, it was like he just gave up, or I don't know what it was. Something happened and it was just like done. And I was like, fuck. Yeah, to have a double pick weekend would have been so incredible. And to pick Yuki for the 10th, that would have been, God, I was so excited.
How did the rest of us do? My P10 tracker is very poor.
You forget who it was even?
Yeah.
I think I had Hulkenberg.
Yeah, you definitely had Hulkenberg. Did you have like Sainz or someone? Which also Sainz, we got to talk. That's maybe worse than Antonelli, right?
Yeah, it's a strange,
especially with Albon so far up there. They're very far apart.
Yeah, there's little moments where Sainz will get on the pace and look like he's getting ahead of Albon, but then he always has these big setbacks. It's just not really going for him, is it? Yeah, I've picked him for P10 like 4 times, and it's just not happening.
And his flashes of being good are usually in quality. Like he'll have one lap where he's up there, he's in the top 10 or even top 5, and then it just never transfers over to the race. He never seems to be on it during the race. So yeah, that's not clicking either.
It's not really happening, is it? So what do we think? Does it now feel slightly inevitable whenever Lando's in front that it's not going to last very long.
It does. And you know what? At the end, when Oscar was leading by, I don't know, 8 seconds or 6 seconds or something like that, and Lando was gaining on him, but every couple laps he'd screw up and he'd lose another second. And then he'd start reeling him in, and they're like, oh, in 5 laps, he's going to be right on his tail, but he'd screw it up again and do something. Like, he could never string together 10 or 5 great laps in a row. There was always a little setback. And Oscar out in front didn't have any of those. He was managing his tires well. He knew what he needed to do. He, didn't panic and push too hard and make mistakes. He just carried on.
And he had medium tires. He had the kind of shitty end of the stick there at the end.
Yeah, you're right. It's Lando just keeps making these funny little errors, doesn't he? His pace advantage is now so narrow that he relied on last year. It's like wafer thin, the difference between them. Whoever is going to be ahead in race pace, they're always so close. Yeah, you just can't do it. And I don't know. Is Lando a broken man already? I hope not, because I would love to see it carry on and on and on. But he just looks like he's pushing water uphill a little bit. And Oscar just keeps getting these results. And actually, arguably, Oscar's had pretty bad luck the last few races and could have had those races as well. So he could be a lot further ahead.
Yeah, I hope Lando wins this weekend just to kind of keep it tight.
He needs to, what is it, 16 points now? Something like that?
Yeah.
15? Yeah. 16?
And it was going to be 2 if Lando did it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still big Oscar flag wavers? Are you keeping your big fans?
I hope he wins, but I hope it's like, I hope I can sit there on that last race and like be nervous and chattering my teeth, terrified that Oscar is going to lose to Lando. Like, that's what I hope happens at the end.
I don't think it's going to be close. I mean, I think it'll be close, but I think he's going to just keep pulling away little by little. We talked about it with Max too. When Max took the lead in the sprint, it generally felt pretty confident he was going to win. Like, there was no stress there. And I feel that way when Oscar's out in front too. He's got a fast car and he's just proven to not make mistakes. But when Lando's leading, I don't have that same feeling. Like, I know his car's fast. He could very well run away with it, but also there's a good chance he's going to push too hard or lose it or something's going to happen. So,
because most of his race wins, there's been a thing on like the last lap or two that he's almost bailed too. And he's recovered and it's been fine, but like he almost got there. So like luck was really on his side. It wasn't, he could have just ended it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know why. I don't know how we form favorites or people we like and don't like in sport. It's a really weird thing, but I find myself wanting Lando to win I don't consciously think it. I don't have any logical reason, but I don't know if it's because he's been there and he's stuck with McLaren through the really bad times. And now I feel like it's his reward to win the time. But I want him to win. I don't know. Maybe it's like some sort of weird British bias or something, but it's unconscious. I was thinking it. I was watching it thinking, why am I so keen that Lando wins? But it's hard to explain those things, isn't it, in your brain?
I think that's what I like about this sport is I can like someone one race and hate them the next and then switch around. And I have no extreme loyalty to anyone. I'll shit talk someone the first week and then the next week I love them. Like Lawson, I loved him. I was obsessed with him at the beginning and then I completely turned on him. And now I'm kind of indifferent to it. And who knows, in a few races, I might think he's amazing. And I know that like sometimes we'll shit on certain drivers, and people will be like, why are you so hard on them? I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of hard on everyone and I'll change my mind. And I think that's what I like about it. There's no like, I don't know. I think Charlie has the most team allegiance here or individual allegiance, which is just Lewis. And just will often hate everyone else just because it's fun to hate on people. And I agree. It is.
Yeah, I mean, you put yourself up for it, don't you? So you've got to take the love and the hate, I think. So yeah, the upshot was relatively straightforward for Oscar. Leclerc did actually really well, didn't he, to stick on the podium. Max, what I thought was interesting, I watched the interview afterwards. Max just looked happy whenever he's racing and actually hunting someone down or going for a move. He was sort of smirking, You know, he's such a racer, isn't he? He seemed happier than when he wins almost.
I was going to say this season and even the end of last season, he seemed way happier than the seasons where he was dominating.
Yeah.
And he's not winning. He's not even on the podium, but he definitely seems like he's having more fun. Yeah, it's a totally different attitude for sure, which seems odd because they don't have a great car and he's not doing so well this year, but he definitely feels happier.
I feel like if he was with a team just fighting to get into the points, he'd be the most happy he ever was. Like racing in the midfield always. He would truly be happy, I think.
He needs to go to Audi or something, doesn't he? Sauber, because they're like, when they're good, they can get right up there, but when they're bad, they can be like 20th. So he would be great in that because he'd always be fighting to get like 8th, 9th, 7th, something like that. But yeah, they did pretty well again. So yeah, but Oscar looks like he's basically going to win this thing unless Lando can do something extremely dramatic to reverse the fortunes. Totally different track though. Next time we have Hungaroring. Should we do Pulp first, or do you want to do a little chat Hungaroring?
Let's do a little Hungaroring. I got some track facts here. Okay, so we have the Hungaroring coming up. The track length is 4.3 kilometers with 14 turns. It's a tight and twisty with only one main straight, nicknamed a carousel, or Monaco without the walls due to its narrow technical features. The race distance is normally 70 laps. There are 2 DRS zones. A little bit of history. It was the first F1 race behind the Iron Curtain held in 1986, which had 200,000 spectators in its first year. That's pretty impressive. The layout was modified in 2003. The official race lap record is Lewis Hamilton with 1 minute and 16, which was in 2020. Qualifying lap record is also Lewis Hamilton, and Lewis Hamilton also has the most wins here with 8 victories. And notable first win, it was Fernando Alonso's first win, Jenson Button's first win, and Esteban Ocon's first win. And the weather forecast this weekend is no rain, cloudy, sunny, pretty basic, but it could change.
I like
this track.
Hungaroring. Yeah, it's cool. It's like it's so weird how tracks fall in and out of favor, because when Hungaroring, everyone used to be like, oh, it's like a kart track and it's dusty and it's crappy. But now I think everyone sort of loves it. And as the cars have got quicker, it used to be a very slow speed track, but now it's actually medium to fast. It is pretty quick. I remember years ago as a kid, I used to love this track, and I watched Schumacher. I used to watch on like Eurosport or something on a Friday or Thursday during practice, and it was in the Benetton days, and he was spinning off the track all over the place, but he was just testing and then got to qualifying and he like absolutely nailed it. And he always did brilliantly around there because he properly taking the car and just throwing it around. So yeah, I like Hungary. Normally you'd say it's such a different track to Spa that it might throw up difference in the order, but McLaren seem to just have it sorted. Slow speed, high speed, whatever these days.
And Lando really likes this track. So that, there was some interviews and he was really excited about this track coming up. So that will be good.
Yeah, I mean, he was super quick at Monaco, wasn't he? So it would make sense that Lando could be quick. I hope so. Budapest is also awesome. Have you guys been? I feel like, Matt, you should have gone.
I haven't been to Budapest, but I have been to I've been to the country. I forget where I was, but but Budapest itself is my number one track I want to go to. I think I've asked like at least 4 people that have been to most races, and almost everyone has said this is the race to go to.
It's a great
It's like
city.
it's cheaper than most places. It's easy to stay. It's easy to get to. It's like everyone's so happy. It's a little bit more like authentic and like
it's gorgeous. My best friend is Hungarian parents, and so he lived out there for quite a while, and he had his stag do out in Budapest. So I've been and went there for his wedding as well, and it's awesome. Sitting there on the Danube, drinking on like roof bar of a boat or something. It's so cool. It's a really,
I've never
really
been.
good place. Yeah, you should go. We should all try and go. In fact,
maybe next year. This is the goal.
Yeah,
that would be
I
good.
like it.
Budapest. That'd be fun.
My friend So my friend, he lived in the UK his whole life. He couldn't really speak Hungarian, but he decided to go out there, and he was launching a business with this other guy. And he was like, "Oh, this is great because I'll bring my dad because he'll be able to talk to the locals when we're trying to set up properties and like office space, all that stuff." His dad's Hungarian, speaks English, but pretty heavy accent, and spends an awful lot of time with Hungarian people. So this was a good plan. So, and they all speak Hungarian all the time, sit around drinking, playing cards, speaking Hungarian. So he took his dad to set up these businesses. And because his dad had been in the UK for like 45 years at this point, with all his friends, their language had evolved to a point where no one in Hungary could understand a word he was saying. He'd like created this dialect with all his friends, and all these people showing around props were like, "Sorry, we don't understand what he's saying." So he took his dad out there, and it didn't really work out, but it was pretty funny. It was great.
Oh my God, that's great.
It was really good. But yeah, the wedding was awesome, I have to say. Really good.
That's cool.
Palenka is the drink they have out there, and it's like every stage of the wedding you walk in this little shop, Palenka, and everyone's drinking. They're literally offering it to 7-year-old kids as they walk in.
And what is it?
What is it?
It's
Vodka?
just it's some sort of, I guess it might be vodka based. Yeah, it's super strong.
But it's a shot of alcohol.
It's a shot. Yeah. And I was like, they're offering it to the kids, and his dad was like, yeah, you know, like I used to have it every day before school from the age of like 6 to keep him warm, you know. But it was literally everywhere. Like you'd walk from one building to the next, another shot of Palenka. There'd be someone would do a toast, another shot of Palenka. Walk out of the church. There's glasses with Palenka to drink. It was really good fun.
Does it taste like it has like a burn, like a normal liquor, or
Yes.
is there like a sweetness to it?
No, it had a burn for sure. I can't remember much about it. It was a haze.
It's not enjoyable, but it's everywhere.
Give it to those kids.
Yeah, give it to the kids. You know,
The kids only get the first 7. After 7, then the kids get cut off.
Oh well, we'll try it maybe next year. Okay, pulp. Let's do some pulp, Matt.
Okay, well, we have Ollie Berman is now in the record books. Pretty exciting. He has the most. He now joins, like, I think it's 4 races. He's finished 11th, which it doesn't matter what position. There's like only 5 drivers that have gotten 4 consecutive races in the exact same position other than first.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet you're so pleased with that.
You know what, though? Also for like a Haas, like to be that consistent in 11th is impressive anyway, as a rookie. He's missing out on the points, but still good.
Haas is quietly doing really well, or better than I think they should be.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I look, they're higher than I think they should be.
You think that's hard for Gunther to see he leaves and immediately a team starts doing better? That's got to be so rough.
He seems like he's having a blast.
Definitely. I think he always seemed like he was having a good time.
Professionally, it's probably bad, but I feel like he's moved past that. He's not about to get the job at Ferrari as team manager or something anyway, is he? So he's probably not too bothered. But yeah, it's not a good sign for him, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Oscar showed the most emotion we've ever seen from him after this race win. He started with like a very calm, "Let's go," and then ended with "Nicely fucking done." Just to hear him swearing on the radio was incredible. And they bleeped it, but it's like, we know what's happening. Don't they get penalties for that? Don't they get like a fine for swearing on the radio?
No, I think it's in press conferences.
In the press
conference. I think they don't like them to swear on. I find Oscar's hilarious because rather than becoming more animated, he just says more words. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he becomes more verbose the happier he is. So if he's not happy, it's just one sentence. If he's just won a race, it might go up to 3 or 4 sentences where and you're like, oh, he just chats. He starts to chat. That's that's when you know he's happy. It's really weird.
It's interesting because like you don't see a lot of commentary from his father. Like, I haven't seen a lot of like what his personality is like. We all know his mom is like chatty, loves making fun of people, is obsessed with Yuki. And there was a lot of pictures. She got to meet Yuki this weekend for the first time. Like all the people set it up. She was wearing a Yuki hat and she was so excited. But like the father must be the quietest man on earth. Because like Oscar's funny but quiet, and his mom does not seem like she's just funny and loud. So like that's got to be what the father's like, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
maybe.
you might be right. Maybe they've never really met. He he sees him, but there's no talking.
He sees him, but they've never spoken. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
never spoken to his dad.
Spoken. Just the odd
But he's
nod.
the most supportive man. Yeah,
Just nods on occasion.
yeah. And that's honestly, there's not a lot of pulp this weekend. It was kind of a little bit of a boring race and not a lot. Like there's obviously still just the Toto, Max, all that kind of stuff going, of the rumors, and Russell saying he's fine where he is and he's safe, but not much. Hopefully we get a lot more drama this week, a lot more people hating each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like George is going to stay, isn't he? It
For
seems
sure.
a no-brainer. He is doing a good job. So yeah, the Max,
He's doing great.
Toto
He
thing.
seems, personality-wise, it seems like there couldn't be a better fit for Mercedes than George.
Yeah,
I guess
No, I think you're
whatever
right.
Max wants to happen will happen ultimately.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I guess
He's
George
basically-
is safe for now. But if Max wants that seat, what are they going to say? No.
Mm-hmm.
But what will they do with Kimi? Like, if he carries on performing the way he is, you can't dump George when he's like literally 10 places ahead or more.
They
and
they
then-
didn't make a documentary about George though. They're invested.
I know.
That production value is pretty high.
But
So they're already,
that only sticks around when you show that you're fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Because he seems like a lovely kid, but it's not like he's gonna turn into a cultural icon, Lewis Hamilton style, who's coming in breaking the mold completely. He's not like a complete fuck you character like Verstappen. So he's got to do it on the track. He really has, and I hope he does. I really hope he does. But at the minute, Hadjar looks so good as a rookie. Behrman has the odd wobble, but when you look at just how his raw pace, he looks unbelievably quick. And so Antonelli, Bortoletto's doing really well against Hulkenberg in qualifying, particularly. He's been a bit unlucky in some of the races. You start to think, wow, it's tough for Kimi. And Mercedes doesn't have an option. I guess they can't even do that. They've shunted drivers to Williams before, but Williams have got such a strong lineup, that's impossible. Yeah, maybe Albon gets called up to Mercedes. That could be a driver swap. Coming up with all sorts of theories today. But that might be quite
yeah,
fun.
that could be kind of fun.
That would
I
be
like
that
that
would-
theory.
Yeah.
They'd be the tallest team duo in Formula One, probably maybe
Yeah,
history, to be honest with you.
Albon's big. He's a big dude, isn't he?
Yeah, I think they're both over 6 feet, and they're only I think Hulkenberg might be, and maybe Ocon
Yeah, he
is.
is. He's tall. Yeah, Ocon's
Yeah.
tall. But yeah, I noticed that today, this weekend, because Anthony Davidson was doing like a breakdown with Albon, and Anthony's tiny, so he's quite a tall dude. Okay, what are you guys up to? I'm at the Nürburgring, so I've got one piece of news. I just took my son, who's 13, Zach, for his first ever lap of the Nürburgring. So
Yeah.
he's very happy. So yeah,
is he
I'm on a
pumped?
track day. Yeah. I'm on a track day, which is a really high-end event. There's only like 120 cars, which is not a lot on this huge track. It's all high-level cars, pretty good driving standard, but you have to be 16 to be a passenger. There's a lot been going on here, a couple of monster crashes the last couple of weeks, so they're being careful. So fine. But the public days, which ironically are far more dangerous, when anyone can go out in any vehicle, there I think you can be 13 upwards to be a passenger. So I did the track day, and then at 4:30ish the track day finishes, and at 5 the track opens to the public. And because the car park's like cordoned off, it was basically 2 ring taxis, they call it, passenger rides, were ahead of me and then me. So we got a fully clear lap of the Nürburgring on a public day.
Rad.
And he was like building up to it, and he's a funny lad. He's like, we're going to go flat out. And I'm like, don't worry. Like, we'll go quick enough. You'll enjoy it. And we come out the
What were you
gate.
driving?
My
Your
Porsche.
Yeah.
Porsche.
Yeah, which is not quick compared to a brand new Porsche, but it's pretty rapid, and I've raced there, so I know the track pretty well. We overtook the 2 ring taxes, let's put it that way. So we went out third and we came home first, so that was good.
That's so fun.
But he was, yeah, as soon as we came out the gate, he's just like uncontrollably laughing, and like then he goes completely silent, and I'm just like putting my thumb up to him occasionally because we're both wearing helmets to make sure he's okay, and he's putting his thumb up. And then at one point I clattered over a curb and a car goes up, and he was just like, "Dad, are you in control? Are you in control?"
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Yeah, we're good. Don't worry. Don't worry." And he loved it. Yeah. So it was quite fun watching him get the bug. So I really enjoyed that. And then tomorrow is part 2 of the track day. So I might give him another lap in the evening, or we might leave early because I need to get home. I feel like I've barely been at home for weeks on end. But yeah, so there you go. I'm trying
That's
to
so
pass
fun.
pass the bug
The torch.
on. Yeah, pass it on, I think. And he was like, "Can we go to Spa on the way home? Because it's literally an hour from here." So I think we might leave at lunchtime, go to Spa, just to have a little look around so he can see the track and everything, and then drive home. So
That's
yeah,
so
there you
cool.
go. Yeah, pass it on.
I was in San Diego for Comic-Con. It's like the biggest Comic-Con in the world. And it's always just insane. The amount of people, I think it's got to be like 100,000 people that show up. So many
At
people are
least
dressed
I think
up
it's
in
more.
there.
That's crazy.
I think it was pre-COVID and it's changed a lot, but
Mm.
it's like, it's pandemonium. It's like, we're obsessed with Formula One. The amount that people can be obsessed with comics and different Marvel movies, and the extent that they go to, and the lines that they'll wade into to have a signature from someone is astounding.
Were
But
you
I stayed
working?
at I worked with 2 British girls for there's a series Outlander, and it's called Blood of My Blood. So it's like the prequel to it. So we were
Okay.
just like in a big group doing press, like starting at like 6 a.m, 5 a.m, and working like I started at 6 a.m on Saturday and I got home at midnight. It was just long
Jeez.
days, but fun. They were a really great crew of people. But yeah.
Are there, I don't want to offend anyone who goes to Comic-Con, are there normal human beings who go to these things? Because I know people love comics. I didn't grow up with comics, so I find it truly bizarre.
I've never been, but it's bigger than comics at this point. Like,
you're right. Yeah.
that's the show that Matt's talking about. Like, you wouldn't watch it. I've never seen it, but I'm presuming you wouldn't watch it and be like, "Oh, this is a comic book TV
Mhm.
show." That's like a regular old show. Even our friend Ryan for Veronica Mars, like they went to Comic-Con for that, and that was like a young adult kind of crime show. So it's just all these, it's shows that get like a weird cult following for some reason. Which I don't know if that is any better or not, but I don't think it's exclusively comic books and things like
Yeah.
that.
But it's like the best thing is like if you're on a show that gets this strange cult obsession, you could never work again the rest of your life, and you will make money for the rest of your life. You can go to these autograph signings all over the world. Like I know people that are on these strange shows that you've never seen, but has a cult following, and they're going to these shows and making like $5,000 to $10,000 just off autographs.
That's crazy.
And it's different than it used to be, but I heard stories years ago that some actresses or celebrities would have to bring like an assistant with them to bring the cash home, because you can only bring under $10,000, and like there was
Really?
bags of cash that they were bringing back from these things. It's obviously cash is not the same thing, and things have changed, but like
That's
you
funny.
may never get an acting job again, and you just every weekend go to a convention and make a killing. It's crazy.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, I won't shame anyone's fandom. No, I agree.
Well, yeah, because like we all have different fandoms. I feel like we play fantasy football. It's the same kind of would we be the weirdness for them to do it. I think we all have our weirdness and our obsessions, and they're all different, but it's like it's very entertaining. They're very happy there. Everyone is so excited at Comic-Con. So it is cool to see this side of the world that I'm not in, but I respect it.
We were in, I took Ace up to Pismo Beach this weekend, which for us is about 3.5 hour drive. But he had a baseball tournament up there.
Yeah.
So we went Friday. We left around noon on Friday. Got up there after lunch and groceries and stuff around 5. And then hung out. Kids went to the pool all night. It was pretty fun. Went to the beach
I thought
the
it
next
was
morning.
Wilder's tournament.
Wilder had one too, but it was here.
So who took Wilder to his?
I took Ace up to Pismo. We stayed up there, and then Erica stayed here.
Yeah, I saw Wilder was super pumped about his second place.
Yeah, you would have thought he
was Kimby Antonelli.
had the worst weekend of his entire life because they got second place.
Really, he was really upset.
Wilder's the most
that
competitive child I've
Did
ever
that make
seen.
you proud, though? Were you like, yeah, son, feel the pain. Feel that pain and take it in.
Remember what second place feels like.
Remember what it feels like and never come back again.
I will say they've done like, I don't know, 7 or 8 tournaments this summer, and they've won every single one except for this one. So that made it even worse. They were like, wait a second. We don't just come here and win? Like what happened? So they were all pretty crushed. But
I guess because it's the first year too, he's in like a really competitive, so he's like learning this competitive nature. But also, Charlie, you're the same. You're still gonna be just as devastated if you got second at anything.
Yeah,
first
maybe even worse because you got to stay there all day and you only get second. Like Ace's team yesterday lost. They had a game at 9, I think, and they lost. And then we were done. I wish they would have won, but then we went and had some lunch, went and swam in the ocean, and drove back.
Got your day back.
Yeah.
Well, it's at this point I think Dax would say push, 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 push. We are going to say Spa wasn't quite what we expected, but yeah, Oscar done it again. Hungaroring next, and hopefully a fantastic race to come. We will speak next week after the mighty Hungaroring, where something amazing will happen everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
See you guys.
See ya.